Hello everyone, welcome to From the Star Wars Home Video Library. I'm your host, Nathan Butler, author of A Saga on Home Video, and this time we take a look at something that I usually don't include within my Star Wars Home Video collection, just because it's not something I usually think to get, and most of the time when you do get them, they're not really home video much at all. What are we talking about? We're talking about a thing called an electronic press kit, or an EPK. An electronic press kit these days usually means that somebody's trying to sell some type of product, some type of home video release or something like that. And in order to sort of build up hype for either a movie or a home video release or a TV show or whatever, they give you this electronic stuff to use to promote it on your website if you're going to do reviews or talk about it or promote it as it's coming up. Maybe trailers, maybe image files, whatever, right? All kinds of promotional stuff to use, usually on your website. But that's sort of a modern EPK. Jump back to press kits, not electronic press kits, but press kits back into, say, the 70s and early 80s. And a lot of times what you had, including for Star Wars, were basically like little packages that have like posters in it, news release like things on paper, might have some little small images of the cast and stuff like that, but not home video stuff. So the modern stuff doesn't have home video stuff. It tends to be all digital resources. The older stuff didn't tend to have home video-like stuff because it tended to be all static items, not video media. But in between, you sometimes would run into promotional items on VHS or sometimes also on DVD. I've shown you the screener, for instance, that I have for, I believe it's Clone Wars Season 2, right? The Rise of the Bounty Hunter season, which is considered a screener / electronic press kit kind of thing because it also includes digital resources. Well, Thomas Quinn, who's a viewer of the show, helped me get my hands on one that he found online, which is an electronic press kit for Attack of the Clones, right? Star Wars Episode 2, Attack of the Clones from 2002. And this time, rather than it being all digital resources or all static resources, it's all resources found on a single VHS cassette. So that's what we want to take a look at this time. The Episode 2, Attack of the Clones Electronic Press Kit VHS Tape, or EPK. That is this. Just a standard old black, hard VHS case here. Nothing special about it. On the side there, you'll notice, okay, it says, it's Star Wars Episode 2 Attack of the Clones. You can kind of tell if I scoot it close. That's the logo. This is Electronic Press Kit, quote-unquote, Story EPK, which is the version of the electronic press kit this is. And there's a 20th Century Fox logo and then Lucasfilm logo. Then on the front, and it's just like a little plastic area that this little card slips into. The front, Star Wars Episode 2 Attack of the Clones, electronic press kit up at the top, Story EPK, table of contents, and it lists 6 things there. Clone War trailer, it's the name of the trailer. Story featurette with titles, story featurette no titles, and then 4 Episode 2 film clips, 5 interview sound bites, 6 B-roll. Then it says down here in the corner, and nobody's going to care these days, for promotional use only, property of 20th Century Fox Marketing. Then you got your 20th Century Fox and Lucasfilm logos over here off to the side, right? So 6 things listed as to what's on it. As for the tape itself, these were not mass-produced. They were just produced in small quantities to send out. So no shock, as is often the case with these, nothing on the VHS tape. It's just a VHS tape that they recorded this stuff onto and then sent these out. Although I do like the fact that inside the, I mean, it's just a generic case, but this particular brand of case has some information on here that says, face cassette opening this away, right? Put the opening over here. Yeah, because if you try to put it in any other way, it's not going to effing close. So why do you have to tell me that? Am I a moron? Sure, why not? Okay, but as for what's on here, it's a little bit deceptive to some degree or unclear. So let's run through what's on here and then we'll call it a day. Because there's not much to it. It's just cool to actually see it as a video item as opposed to static or digital only. The Clone War trailer actually plays twice. So it's 2 of the Clone War trailer for Attack of the Clones playing back to back. Then you got the story featurette, and that is basically the same featurette that we see on the bonus disc for the 2002 DVD release of Attack of the Clones. But it's on there twice. One with titles, one without. Now what that means basically just is that, for instance, when George Lucas starts speaking for the first time, right? Typically on the featurette, it has a little thing off to the side that says George Lucas and then tells what his job was on the film and that sort of thing. There's one version that has those, one that does not. in case whoever's using the electronic press kit wants to show, the information about who it is in some other way that better fits their program. And to do so, right before it runs that one, it then shows a list of who all's in it and when they first appear and what their role was. So that if you were putting your own like Chiron thing at the bottom of who they are that looks different than what they wanted to have in it in the original titled version, you can just use the untitled version, slap your own label on it, and you are good to go as a promoter. Then as far as the clips that are in there, there's 3 of them, though they're not amazing clips to have chosen. It's kind of odd. One is Padme showing up after the assassination attempt, the "seeing you alive brings warm feelings to my heart," one of the few times that Yoda speaks forward. And then the brief conversation between Obi-Wan, Mace Windu, and the floating Yoda where they talk about how Anakin has grown, well, arrogant. And then Obi-Wan in hologram form contacting Mace and Yoda about what he's found on Kamino, the fact that, he thought Sifo-Dyas died over 10 years ago or whatever, and so on. So kind of odd choices to use for clips, but it is those 3 clips. Then the interview sound bites are little bits, little sound bites, little clips out of interview material with various individuals. And they show a menu, sort of a list of what's on there beforehand. But you have 7 from George Lucas, 3 from Rick McCallum, 3 from Samuel L. Jackson, 3 from Ewan McGregor, 4 from Hayden Christensen, 5 from Natalie Portman, 3 from Christopher Lee, and 1 from Ian McDiarmid. Then it moves into the last thing, which is just some B-roll, random behind-the-scenes shot stuff we've seen in a lot of the behind-the-scenes stuff before. But it's kind of running together, starting with Princess Leia's theme playing, and then the Episode 2 end theme, the Across the Stars kind of music playing. And that's basically it, right? It's just there to help promote the film in theaters or eventually then on DVD and get the word out to get people excited about it and maybe so that you could use that material as part of your own promotion process, albeit not digitally, on VHS. So thanks to Thomas for the help in getting my hands on the EPK, and maybe this is another area to start looking into for my Star Wars collection, though most of the time, like I said, it's usually static stuff or digital, not something like a VHS, though finding the VHS, that's actually pretty sweet. Pretty neat to see something that could fit as home video, or at least video, as opposed to one of the other media. But with that, we will wrap up this episode. Thank you for watching, and may the Force be with the home video viewers.